Hello and welcome, everyone. We are the Red Devils Advocates, and it's a good week. 2 dubs in a row. Sean, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, thanks, Andy. It's been a good week. Got 2 dubs in a row, and I'd hate to be Ollie out right now.
all right. I'm not gonna be one of those people. I will admit that Ollie has done very well this week. 2 games, 2 wins, and I believe we are 10 away Premier League wins in a row now. So it's turning around. We are now third in the league with a game in hand. It's all looking pretty sweet from here.
We can still potentially win the league, and that's absolutely crazy to say considering where we were a few months ago.
Hey.
I told you it'd happen. I told you it'd happen.
It's got to back the manager. Yeah, if we do win the league, that's going to be crazy. I think he will get a statue and probably a lifetime contract. Yeah, it's just honestly, we are looking very good right now. Our first game was against Sheffield United, and there was quite a lot to talk about there. We got the dub. We've seen it all, a Martial goal. But do you have any thoughts about this match?
The match was unlucky on Sheffield's part. They potentially could have had their first dub of the season. As big of a shout as that is, I mean, if you look back at the match, it could have happened. It nearly did happen when they went 1-0 up after 5 minutes. I feel like Ollie was playing mind games with Sheffield United. If you pay attention to Henderson being in goal, considering that he was the only reason they did so well last season, at the same time, I want to say, as glad as I am that Henderson's getting game time, you can see his lack of experience in this match.
Yeah.
The first goal, though, once again, our leader of leaders making a mockery of our goalkeeper. The goalkeeper's still at fault.
Like, I 100% agree there. And watching the game against Leeds today, that really shone the light on the difference in experience that De Gea and Henderson have. Just little things like when the ball would come into the box, the heart rate wouldn't go up at all because we knew De Gea was going to catch that. And the goals he did concede, almost every keeper is going to concede those kind of goals. And Henderson, he doesn't have that confidence. He doesn't have that experience to just catch the ball when it's coming into him, or a straight shot. I think he palmed away quite a lot of shots. Obviously, that goal that we conceded was laughable. It's almost like the Liverpool goal they conceded early in the season. I think it's just a matter of experience, and it showed why De Gea has to start. He has to continue to be our first keeper.
So I agree that he should be starting over Henderson. Obviously, when we first started this, I said I would much rather have Henderson in goal because of De Gea's performances. Granted, he's now doing a lot better. He's played an absolute shocker against Leipzig. But as you said, the difference between Henderson in the Sheffield United match and De Gea tonight, if you see Sheffield United's second goal, Henderson was behind the line. So even if he did manage to get to it, it would have counted as a goal anyway because the ball's already gone past the line. And once again, it shows that, yes, he's an absolutely amazing keeper when he puts his mind to it. But then there's still that positioning inexperience, that you're palming out the balls, and also trusting your back line to give you a 5-yard pass.
There was no class in that pass there. No class. Yeah, I didn't even notice that. But that's just something that someone like De Gea or, Van der Sar, Schmeichel, they would never make those mistakes. And it's just it's normal to them, like drinking water every day. And I think it shows that Henderson does have a long way to go before he claims the number 1 spot. And yeah, little things like that will cost us. It'll cost, maybe not games, but it will cost us goals.
Mm.
And yeah, I hate watching us concede goals. I like clean sheets being broken. I hate them so much. Yeah, just things like that. And Henderson's got a long way to go, but I do think he has the most potential out of all of the keepers in the Premier League to be the best keeper.
That is quite a shout, but I feel like there still are some other contenders in there. But I feel like they're going to be long gone before he actually reaches his prime. And when I say that, I'm particularly aiming at Allison and Edison.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like if I'm gonna say my top three keepers in the league, it's De Gea, Edison, Allison, and Allison's probably second. So
Mhm.
yeah, I agree with you 100%. But again, sorry, goalkeepers have longer careers than outfield players, so
Yeah,
we could have
you say that. Let's look at it.
typically goalkeepers have longer careers, so we could see Henderson at United for like 10 years, like we've seen with De Gea. So
Yeah, that's true. But moving away from Henderson, obviously we got some goals in there as well. Lindelof's pass. Where did that come from?
well, obviously, one thing I'm 100% convinced of is people involved in football know what people are talking about in football. So, like, footballers check out tweets about them, they check out Instagram posts about them, and apparently, people are starting to call Victor the Vacuum and Harry the Hoover. So, I mean, man like Victor isn't going to stand for that. Like, when he had great nicknames like the Iceman, and yeah, he's not going to stand for insults like that. I think, yeah, he's got a firecracker up his butt, and now he feels like he needs to prove himself. These defenders, our centre backs, are aware that we, the fans, do not believe that that partnership can win a Premier League title or a Champions League title.
Yeah.
And, whether you drop Victor or you drop Harry, one of those defenders are going to be a bit more insecure than the other. And I think Victor might be playing out of his skin because he might be a bit fearful for his position. January's coming up real soon. We might be able to talk a bit about transfers if you like to see. And, the number one aim for a footballer should be to play as much as possible, above money, above all of that fame and stuff. I think Victor wants to play for a team that you could say is the best in the world, the biggest in the world in terms of legacy and all of that. Yeah, I think he has to prove to himself that he belongs at this club, and I think that's where the pass came from.
I see where you're coming from with all of that. Though I would say that out of all of our current centre backs, I feel he is the least to worry about.
See, if we were judging it on just talent, I would agree with you. But we have another centre back who seems to have something around his arm, and we paid quite a lot of money for him. So I don't know if one, the manager, or two, the owners are going to be like, get him out of here. So I can see where you're coming from, but I can see why.
Outside of that wonder touch, Rashford's like one touch, two touch. Like the second touch was an absolute rocket. There's no fault in that goal. Sir Dr. Rashford, or should I introduce his new name?
I was going to say, do you want to introduce the good Lord by his full title, Game of Thrones-esque?
Well, we have dubbed him Lord of the Realm, Sir, Lord Justice of the Supreme Court, Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, Giver of Food, Head Supplier of Education, Scorer of Goals, Europa League winner, FA Cup winner, Carabao Cup winner, Community Shield winner, People's Champion, Doctor, Professor, Mister, Deputy Supreme Allied Commander of Europe, Coach, Marcus Rashford, Esquire, OBE, the Bachelor's Honours.
I don't know why, but when you went like, Sir, Doctor, Mister, I just lost it. I mean, give us a thumbs up for that. Like that is all Sean's brainchild. That is the full registered name for Rashford. Let's get him to change his legal name to that. And speaking of Rashford, he is playing amazingly well in both games. He's playing out of his skin as well. I'm not sure what's going on with the kid, but keep going, man. We have spoken about his off-field antics. I shouldn't say antics, but I should say campaigns. He's been doing very great work. We are so proud that he is a Manchester-born kid. He's giving back to the community. Raised working class, and he hasn't forgotten where he's come from. He's trying to help people in similar backgrounds to have the same opportunities that he did, and it's just really enlightening to see. And in spite of all that, he wasn't really performing towards the end of last season, so it's very nice to see that the off-field and the on-field performances are meshing right now. He's putting goals away, putting defenders on their butts, and he's embarrassing everybody.
Yes, he is. Also, in that match, I'd love to say that the team up between Rashford and Martial was impeccable. It was, again, like the end of last season, they were setting each other up. Granted, Martial only got one goal, but it ended his no-goal run of 8 matches. And I am one of the people that would say it was one of his luckier goals. That first touch, it could have hit the goalkeeper. It could have gone completely other direction. But if it was anyone else, they wouldn't have scored it.
Yeah. That's a goal that has caused not a debate, I would say, but like different perspectives from the two of us, because you say it's lucky. I definitely agree that his first touch is lucky to have come off that way. But I think his, not the shot, but like the goal that put the touch that put the ball in, that's pure class.
That is class. That's pure class. I'll never debate that. Any striker that misses from that position, he shouldn't be a striker. Yeah, I will never debate that.
But it was the angle though. Like I've never seen strikers score in a position like that. And if that, as you said, if that was any other striker, I'm like, that's not going in because you can't move your body like that. But Martial just has a certain way of manipulating his joints and limbs just to, get those tight angles in and convert them into goals. He's a very skilled player. Obviously, leaves a lot to be desired in his goal tally this season, but the skill is all there.
Well, speaking of skill, the no-look pass to him, though, as much as everyone was bigging it up, I feel Pogba left Martial a lot of work to do.
Yes, I agree. So when I watched the game, the commentator said that he was convinced that Paul Pogba didn't mean to pass it to Martial. So I'm not sure what he thought Pogba was trying to do there. And I can see the argument for that. It didn't really, it wasn't picture perfect, but I think it was intended to set up Martial. I think he overplayed it a bit, but I definitely think he saw Martial's running because, Pogba and Martial, they play together all the time. They know each other very well. And Martial knows as soon as Pogba gets the ball, it's time for him to get on his bike because Pogba can do the Hollywood pass. He can do the big, long shot, the big, long ball to set up the strikers. And yeah, it was time to perfection. It did leave Martial with a lot to do. It wasn't an easy goal to finish. And I think that's why I like Martial so much because he can finish the hardest goals. He can score the hardest goals, and then he will mess up the easiest ones.
Yeah,
like, don't give him
just all the sitters. All the sitters he misses.
Don't give Martial sitters. Don't give him penalties. Don't give him easy goals. Give him the hard ones when he's like on level with the goal line. But yeah, it was brilliant to see. I feel that you made a good point that Sheffield could have easily won that game. Fine margins. I think that if I'm being strict, if I'm being harsh, Sheffield shouldn't really have got a goal in that game. We could have won that 3-0. That would have been...
I can see where you're coming from with that, considering where the 2 goals came from.
Yeah, like, I think if we tightened up, we could have got a 3-0 there, but 3-2 is still a dub, and, I'm not that spoilt to hand down a 3-2 or to look down upon a 3-2 when some people are out here losing to Burnley.
And Everton.
And Everton. Not my club.
Some people are fighting a 16th and 15th position battle. How's that score going tonight, by the way?
Well, actually, let's have a look. Villa are winning.
They drew 1-1. They drew 1-1, which means that they stay in 15th, I believe. They do.
I mean, you know, it's ever so close. There's still so many games to go. Many more banana slips to happen. Let's I guess to round things up with Sheffield. Do you have any lasting points? And who do you think was the best United player in that match?
I would say either Martial or Rashford was probably my best player. So simply like the link up play between the two of them, they put each other through quite well. And Rashford's second goal, the way Martial purposely left the ball for him to knock it home, like that's the kind of teamwork that we're used to seeing. And that's the kind of thing that makes a class player. Like knowing when to go for the goal and knowing when to leave it for the other man.
I 100% agree with you there. I love the partnership between Martial and Rashford, and I do believe that you need to play them together more or less every game. We've said it before, but it's very much in the same ilk of York and Cole. They are so good together. They've played together for so many seasons now, like week in, week out, and they know each other very well now. There's something I want to point out in the Leeds game, and I do think Rashford and Martial have such great chemistry, and I would give it to Rashford personally. So, yeah,
Okay.
he played really well. I think, you know, as controversial as he is, I think Pogba played a really great game against Sheffield, and he showed why, you know, he is a top player. I think, you know, I do think he's playing for Pirlo still, but if it gets us goals and wins, who cares? Like, if Pogba assists us enough for us to win the Premier League, he can go to Juventus for all I care. I do not care.
You know, there was certainly a few points in the match where he was clearly showboating. And there's an argument that the Martial goal was part of the showboating with a no-look pass. It's like, yes, I can put those Hollywood passes here, there, and everywhere. Now let me do it without looking.
Yeah, I definitely think he knows what time it is. He knows what time of year it is. You know, he's just had his agent in his ear. So, yeah, I think there's a very good shout there to say he's showboating. There were quite a few times where he wouldn't move he had the ball in his possession and he just wouldn't move. He was just like bouncing players off. So, yeah, it was just showcasing everything. But, yeah, like while he's playing for us, great talent. Leeds!
Well, what can we say? It's quite a boring match. Nothing special happened.
Quiet one.
Quiet one, yeah. Couple people made some good saves. A couple people dived.
Mate.
I
don't care if there was contact or not. The way the man went down here was flipping ridiculous. He can't keep flopping like that.
Doing that, how many times does this man have to be booked for nonsense like that for it to actually sink in?
Yeah.
Like, let's think of when he signed for us. Everyone was like, "Oh, he is the right wing version of Ryan Giggs. He's going to be the next great talent at United." The only talent he's brought so far is getting yellow cards.
Fair enough. I mean, that is quite a hot take. I do think that he has probably nearly the same amount of goals as yellow cards. I do think he's got something about him, you know. You know, he can run really fast. Apparently, he can, you know, give Bolt a run for his money. He is very good. He's a tricky. It's not tricky. He is a very honest player, and like we saw it today, he just kicks the ball.
Honest.
When I say honest, I mean with his feet, like the way he runs.
I got tackled. Oh wait, I'm being booked. What's going on?
Where's Howard Webb when you need him? So when I say honest, like the way Rashford plays, he's very tricky. Like he can do all the tricks. He can leave defenders on their asses. The way Greenwood that he does the step overs and like you never know which foot he's gonna shoot with. Martial, obviously, trickster. Daniel James doesn't do any of that. He kicks the ball really far and he runs after it. And because he's very quick, he gets it, and that's what he does. And that's what I mean by honest. Like he doesn't really offer anything beyond that.
He can get a goal from time to time.
He's got quite a few goals. Yeah, I do think there's nothing wrong with the way he plays. It does give us something different to think about and to play with. He got a goal today. He got a goal in the game. Yeah, I obviously I don't think he's going to be in the starting 11 every week, but I do think he might have given Ollie.
Because not when you have players like oh, you do it better than I do, Andy.
Oh, whoever could you mean? Are you talking about Juan Mata?
Yes, I am.
I saw him the other day. I put a tweet out. The other day. Dan James scored the goal and he went off the touchline. And who did he hug? None other than the man himself, Juan Mata. He just keeps it simple. A simple hug. 5-yard passes, 5-yard hugs. He's a class player. He's class. He's got to play him in the next game. He's got to play him. Carabao Cup. Dan James, Juan Mata, Scott McTominay, Matic,
Jesse Lingard.
Oh, he's classy. He is. Put a bit of Van der Beek up there as well. And Marshall. We can't forget Marshall. Oh. I think Ollie played the blinder this game. I've got to say, might be accused of being a flip-flop, but I'm not going to shy away from the fact that I think Ollie has made some very good decisions in this game and the last one. He played Pogba against Sheffield because obviously Sheffield will be a bit more defensive and probably be able to break down a team like that, offering a bit more than just Fernandes. And today he played Fred and McTominay, the good old midfield partnership that will be great at winning the ball higher up than the defensive line and getting ready to initiate counters. I think he played a really, really great hand. I think he does have something about him though. Ollie played Henderson against Sheffield United. Played Daniel James against Leeds today. I think there's something about him. He's not as nice as he lets on in the interviews. He's a bit ruthless. He is. But yeah, every decision he made was great. I thought Fred should have come off in the second half, but I mean, when you win that convincingly, you can do what you like.
There was definitely a couple of players that could have come off earlier, or instead of Fred being one of them. He made some good touches. He got some good tackles in, but generally his passing this match has gotten back to standard. The amount of obviously, McTominay got 2 goals in less than 3 minutes. He was on the hat-trick twice, and Fred completely messed him up with one of them. It was such a heavy ball. There was so much space, and Fred's just like, oh, here goalkeeper.
Yes, I'd like to point out that Scott McTominay is now the first Premier League player to score twice in the first 3 minutes of a Premier League match. That is amazing. That's so sick, especially when he's had his doubters, not just this season in general. Like a lot of people, will argue as to whether he's a starting 11 or not. I 100% agree with the Fred comment you've just made, and that's what I wanted to say. Rashford and Martial have a lot of chemistry. Rashford and Pogba have a lot of chemistry. Rashford and Fred have no chemistry whatsoever. There were a couple of instances in this game against Leeds where Rashford and Fred just don't have the communication skills, or they just don't know what the other player's thinking. There was a move where Rashford was outside of the box on the left-hand side, and Fred was like a bit ahead of him to the left. And I think Martial was in the center, occupying space. And Rashford kind of played the ball to Fred. And that's a simple pass to, your left wing back who's doing the overlapping run. The left back is looking for that ball. He's expecting that. Fred wasn't. He switched off and, he wasted it. And there was something else when in the second half where Fred had the ball and he tried to, I think he wanted to pass it to Rashford, but he scuffed it. there were many times where Fred had the ball for way too long and he ruined the counterattack that we had set up. Van der Beek
Yeah.
had a run. Cavani had a run. Fred holding on to the ball way too long messed up the goals. The match was 6-2. It could have been 9-2. It could have been 10-0. The way we were, popping shots off.
I have a question because I thought it was Martial that held the ball in the first attempt for Cavani. When Cavani was onside, had enough space for the ball to go through, and then they purposely waited for him to be offside before they put the ball through.
Like, he got the ball and he couldn't touch it.
He just stopped. Cavani literally just stopped dead in his tracks because he already knew he was offside.
I thought it was Fred, though.
You thought it was Fred? Okay. Maybe I missaw the number.
Yeah, I thought it was Fred because, like, he was doing that the whole game. And, like, yeah, I was really like, why have you held onto the ball? Just shoot it off. Like,
Yeah.
let go. Like, yeah, I think Fred's job in the team is to very much be the cleaner. He takes care of the messy stuff, messes up the play for the opposition, wins the ball, and then gives it to McTominay or gives it to Fernandez. Give it to someone who can play the ball. He shouldn't be in the final third. I don't know why. I think he had a shot instead of passing it to.
He did have a shot.
Cavani could have scored there if he was, thinking.
But
yeah,
Andy, here's the thing. Sometimes when you get into a position like that, you just see the lights. You see the lights of Match of the Day, and you think, "This is me. This is my moment to shine. I'm going to pop on off. It's going to be glorious."
I know what you've done there. You've done me there. Well, fair enough. I can't say anything to that. There's so many times where the lights, man. Fred probably just saw the lights. Yeah, to be fair, yeah, I won't be too harsh against him.
Do you think it's appropriate to do a shout out so people can understand what we're talking about?
Of course, yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, that we are also part of two separate brands, Streamcast TV or Streamcast _
Yes. So our Twitter and Instagram handles are Streamcast _ and our Twitch is Streamcast TV.
And then I am part of Past Assault 491 or Past Assault 6 for my Twitter. And yeah, we every other Tuesday we play some FIFA 21 Pro Clubs with another one of our friends, DMJ Official with 0 instead of an O. Yeah, so some great stuff over there. Great quality content. If you like this, then you're definitely going to love that because it's a lot more football banter. DMJ's an Arsenal supporter as well, so we get some digs in there.
Oh, yes. But yeah, I can attest to that. It's very fun. Yeah, our FIFA streams bang. Like, they're so much fun. The team is called Red Devils Advocate, so I mean, you've got to check us out. It's so much fun, and yeah, that Sean was making a shot at me because sometimes I get there in the opposition box and I can see a player is free. I can see Sean is free, or I can see whoever else is free, and I just have a shot because why not? Like, I can see the lights, and that's what I say every time I miss. Every time like the keeper saves it, well, it just goes off for a goal kick. I saw the lights. I'm sorry, man. Match of the day. Alan Shearer, man. I wanted him to talk about my goal. But yeah, like, if you love FIFA, if you like streams, check us out. That's Past Assault 491 on Twitch. They've done an amazing job this year. Quality content. They've got a very good schedule and so much quality variety for you. So make sure to check them out.
Thank you very much. And then we have Streamcast TV on Twitch as well. Once again, quality people. You couldn't ask for nicer people or a nice community. And they have recently hit 150 followers as well, which is astounding considering they only started this in July?
I think it was August, I want to say.
Was it August? That's even more impressive. So yeah, please go check them out. Amazing people.
Yeah, thank you very much for that shout out. I really appreciate it. Probably by the time this pod actually goes out past us, I would have cracked the milestone. But please, let's get them to 100 Twitch followers. They are amazing. Right, back to back to the match though. I mean, we could have had a couple of hat tricks. McTominay was looking at a hat trick.
Yeah.
Fernandez was looking at a hat trick. This is why I think Fred should come off, because if you see someone like Pogba, who is a better passer, I'm not gonna, mince my words. Pogba's a better passing ability. I think we do see a couple of hat tricks. I do, or a couple of braces. Yeah, Fred did his job very well to mash up the play, ruin Leeds' fluidity, but he mashed up our own attacks. So yeah, a bit of give and take there.
Yeah, and I mean, considering the fact that Cavani, if he had scored, would have been on a hat trick as well for the short amount of time that he was on the pitch, only for the fact that their goalkeeper decided to play an absolute worldie after already being 6-2 down.
Yeah, we were very much shocked at why he started to play properly after 70 minutes. I'm not sure whether his wages got cut or anything, but yeah, he was saving all the shots for some reason. It's mad.
I think he saved either 5 or 6 shots in about 3 minutes, which just says everything. And one of the first set of shots, actually, I have to commend him for, because Cavani could have scored. He's down on the floor, and the speed that he got back up to save the second shot was unbelievable.
Yeah. If I'm being harsh, Dan James should have not shot it at the same place that Cavani did, but I've got to give credit to the keeper there.
Outside of that, some shocking scorers. Lindelof.
Nay, the Iceman. He bagged himself a goal. No longer Victor the Vacuum. He is now Sir Victor the Iceman once again. He's putting in a couple of cold performances this week, and he's making a very good case. He's given the manager a headache, because you've got to assume a centre-back is on the cards for January. And there's either going to be rotation or someone's going to get dropped. And yeah, Victor's making it very hard. For all of Harry's aerial prowess, he's not got, that many goals. I don't think he's not looking that impressive.
I believe he still has just the one this season, which Lindelof has now matched.
Yeah, so it's he is not the superstar centre back that we thought we were getting. I mean, yeah, I do think we would miss Victor more than we would miss Maguire if we were to, bench one or the other. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I feel like there's a very strong argument for that. And it mainly falls on the arguments against Maguire of the last few weeks of lack of pace, the constantly being out of position, the not understanding the basics of football, despite quoting himself, if you don't understand the basics of football, you're going to lose matches. The inability to communicate with our goalkeeper, despite being 5 yards away from him.
Yeah, I think there was a couple of minutes in this game where he was outside the opposition box, and I was thinking, what are you doing? Because if they get the ball, you are not fast enough to win the ball back. But yeah.
Look, much like you with Ollie, I am done with this man. I have been done with this man for a long time. He is potentially the worst purchase we've ever had. And it's not like my opinion's ever changed. Since we've started this, you know my opinion on the man. And he makes it easier and easier each week. He, as you said, we brought him for his aerial abilities, and he had a couple chances tonight. And one of them was the easiest save that I've ever seen in my life. You have a wide open goal. You've been practicing this. You are here for this reason. Where do you hit the ball? Straight at the keeper.
Yeah, you're not going to test the keeper if you hit the ball where he's currently standing. I think it just goes to show how great the team can be, that we've won a game 6-2 and we're still picking things. What is Fred doing? What is Harry doing? I think it just goes to show
what is Martial doing?
Oh, we've got to rip into him. I'm a big Martial fan, but what was he doing today? He
The
was
sitters. Oh, Andy, once again, as you said earlier, the sitters, don't give the man sitters. He misses all of them.
yeah.
I don't understand it.
I don't
They,
understand. Do not give
we,
him.
we, should, we should have had double digits today
Yeah,
because
yeah,
these chances were before the goalkeeper started playing well.
yeah, yeah. The thing is, we've seen him score those goals before, which makes me confused. We've seen him like get away from his defender and then pop one, like curve it around the keeper. I don't know why he's. I don't know. He got an assist or two today, but I don't know what's wrong with him. Like, this isn't good enough.
Let's actually clarify if he got an assist.
I'm pretty sure
He got two. He got two assists.
he got two. Yeah.
Yeah, he set up McSauce for the second goal, and
Yes.
he set up Lindelof for his banger
Yes,
as
he
well.
did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah. So he got a couple of assists, but like I could forgive him if he didn't get that many opportunities. But he had two clear-cut opportunities that should have been goals, and I can't forgive those. I don't know what's going on with my man.
He scored a very talented goal against Sheffield United. You said it yourself. Why can't he score these?
I don't know. I'm not sure. And yeah, it's really weird because like I'm pretty sure Greenwood would score both of those chances.
Mm.
But at the same time, I don't think Rashford and Greenwood have a good relationship. I think Rashford and Greenwood are more or less the same type of player, and they need a Martial next to them. So when Rashford went off, I don't know. I personally would have actually kept Rashford on for that game and taken off Martial. But it's good to see Oli actually bench Rashford, not bench him, but like rest him because he doesn't bench or rest Rashford much at all, and I fear for Rashford's well-being because of that. He's got quite a few injuries over the last year, and the last thing you want is to like push a kid into the ground. So I'm very glad to see that at least. I think at that point we were fairly sure that 3 points were coming home. So it's fine margins, isn't it? Best player of this match, Sean. Who was your man of the match?
Oh, I'm gonna have to say McSauce.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's no other way around it. When he's scoring better goals than Martial, and when he's making better passes than Pogba, and when he's making better defensive moves than Maguire, like what can the man is all in one, at least for this match.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there. He more or less covered every blade of grass on the pitch. He was everywhere, attacking, defending. He was the perfect box-to-box midfielder this game, and I think, looking at the lineup, you would think, oh, we're doing a Leipzig here. We've got 4 defenders, and we've got 2, auxiliary defenders in front, but we really had that balance. We had a genuine pivot in midfield where Tomine was going up and doing those late runs, and Fred was cleaning at the back, and then we got the inverse where Fred was going up and McTominay was further back or off the pitch because he walked up with a bit of a groin injury.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, Scott deserved the full 90 that game, and it's a shame that he couldn't. But yeah, like that first goal, I didn't even catch it live because I had the kettle on and like I missed both goals. So yeah, it was absolutely crazy to get off to a fiery start like that. We have had interviews with Maguire where he says, yeah, we've come from behind too many times. It's now about time that we start getting the first goal and building upon that. And it's really refreshing to see that. So yeah, like having Fernandes having the ball up there and he sees McTominay coming up, acres of space, just lays it off to him, and that's what we like to see. I think that is perfect for us having the 2 center defensive midfielders, but one maybe going up a bit more than the other. Perfect stuff.
Well, when that happened, the commentators actually said this reminds them of a Scholes and Keane kind of moment where they just know how to read each other, not only the game. Like, they know which one's going forward, they know which one's holding the line, and it was amazing to see.
Yeah, that is Premier League midfielder caliber stuff right there. And there are a lot of teams that just have poor midfields. Maybe that's due to COVID, maybe that's due to injuries, whatever. But the class that we've got, we've got Pogba, Matic, McTominay, Fred, Van der Beek, Bruno. Did I say Fernandez? Bruno Fernandez. So many really good midfielders. Like, we've got, if we play the 3-man midfield, we can play 2 different 3-man midfield and still trump, a lot of the league.
Yeah,
It's great stuff. What games do we have up next? We have
a cup match against Everton. And then on the weekend, we are playing against Leicester. Both of the matches away.
Ooh, that might be a bit spicy. So, quarterfinal match. Do you think we're going to beat Everton?
I want to say yes. I want to say yes. But we never play 2 matches alike, and we dominated this match. This match is Old United. This match was class on grass. And it was actual joy to watch. I didn't have the fear of us getting beaten by, no offense to them, but a lesser team. And obviously Everton this year are proving to be an amazing side. They're currently 4th, and they deserve the respect of not believing that we're just going to walk in there and absolutely batter them in the same manner. I don't want it to go to penalties, but it might. That's my
score. What score do you think it will be?
I reckon it's either going to be a 1-1 or a 2-2.
Okay.
What about you?
For some reason, I just see us winning.
Okay.
So for the score, I'm going to say 3-1. I think that we might see some players that didn't, feature today in that game. And I think we're going to look to utilize the same tactics that we did in the league. We're going to expect the pressure. We're going to see a lot of Everton build-up play, and we're going to try to win the ball in midfield and get started on the counter early. I think that's what we're going to see here. I would be very surprised if we see something else. I think we do have the men to put Everton to the sword. I don't see why we can't win. Obviously, Everton have been an amazing team this year. This is probably the best season that they've had in the Premier League. I mean, they've got a world-class manager. They've got the striker to rival some of, the most elite in Europe. And I think it's not going to be as easy as last time, because obviously, Ancelotti is no fool. He's going to make the adjustments. He's going to be watching tape. But I still see us winning. I think we've got the manpower for it. Whether we want to do we soak up the pressure and we hit them on the counter, or whether we try to dominate them, we try to go out on the front foot, I think we're going to win.
Okay. And so what is your scoreline?
3-1.
3-1. And you're happy and content with that scoreline, yeah?
I think, come on, man, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. I don't know if we're gonna win the cup, but I think we're gonna beat Everton. I think so.
Okay. Then that leads into Leicester on Saturday. Obviously, they're doing quite well as well. Currently in front of us, though we do have a game in hand.
It's not an easy week, is it? We've got the team above us and the team below us. Of course, if we win our game in hand, we are comfortably second. Leicester are on top of us right now, and there is good reason for that. They're a consistent team. They've got a great manager as well in Brendan Rodgers. They've got a lot of character in the team. I think this is a game that we can definitely win. Like, the way Leicester play, I can see our style of play combating that very well. It all depends on the team that we start with. I believe Ollie will pick the best 11 for the job. That's one that I'm not so certain on. I think it could go either way. Of course, as Ollie likes to say, fine margins. That game will be decided by fine margins. We've got a man like Vardy who can turn it on in an instant. You've got to put him out for 90 minutes. If he has 5 minutes of a good game, he's scoring. So we've got to be on point from minute 1 to minute 90. Martial needs to turn up. He got 2 assists against Leeds, so if he gets 2 assists against Leicester, I'm happy, but I'm going to want him to score goals. Rashford, he's got to continue that great form he's on. I think he will. I can... I'm not so certain about this one. I think we're going to... Mate, I'm a hopeful romantic. What can I say? I think I'm going to say we're going to win that 1-2-1.
Okay. Well, I'd like to make a point off of something you said there of having to be turned on from 0 to 90. In the pre-interviews today, one of the people asked Ollie, obviously, the match against Leipzig, we weren't turned on for the first 20 minutes. So knowing that Leeds are going to be coming and attacking us today, what are you going to do to handle that? Can you afford to be losing that amount of time? And Ollie said, well, I might have to go pop a balloon in front of them real quick just to wake them up. Clearly it worked. So I think he's found his tactic. He knows how to wake the boys up from the first minute.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, or like cold water in everyone's face. Because for what we were awake from minute 1, definitely.
Yes, a minute 7 seconds to be precise. But I think it's going to be a tough match as well. I feel like we're going to have a bit more of an advantage against Leicester because of their attacking style. They're going to be pushing against us massively, especially with, as you said, Vardy up front, assuming that he's playing.
Hashtag God forbid. Hashtag God forbid.
It's a match that we can win. Obviously, we won it last season, got us into Champions League. Look at us now.
Yeah, that as well.
Maybe it was too much pressure. Maybe this is what we needed to lessen the pressure to be able to focus on the Premier League. And I reckon that we might be able to win, be it like 1-0 or 1 or 2-0, I think, maybe.
Oh, but you're predicting a win.
I'm predicting a win, yeah.
Oh, there we go. Return Sean around. He's positive again.
Get knocked out of the cup. Winning the league.
Yeah, I do agree with you where you said the Champions League exit might have been a massive kick up the butt for the players and the manager. I think that is the wake-up call that we've needed. We just assume we've just, gone into the knockout stages every time, haven't we? So I think now realizing that the quality of teams in Europe is so high that we need to be on our game every game. It's a refreshing kick in the face, I think.
I don't ever know of a refreshing kick in the face, but I'll take your word for it.
Of course, we've got January's transfer window coming up. Normally quite quiet, but I think it'll be a bit more active this year.
So I have a question for you. Obviously, currently the world is in tier 4 lockdown. They made a whole new tier for us. Will these players allowed to be transferred?
I think they're all special cases because they are essential workers.
Yes. The essential need of a centre back.
Oh yeah. I think they'll have to isolate when they arrive in their designated camp. But yeah, I don't think that's going to hold up any transfers. Like, there's enough money to have the officials look the other way. So yeah, I think we'll be fine.
Oh jeez. Oh jeez.
Do you have any predictions for any outgoings or incomings in January?
So I feel like Pogba is more than definitely going to leave, either January or next summer. I kind of want it to be January. I'm not going to lie to you, because maybe, maybe we see Sancho. Maybe we see the Ronaldo talks earlier than expected. I know I'm talking like Tyrone right now, but a man can
Yeah,
dream, can't he?
I'm not sure if Juventus is going to let go of Ronaldo mid-season.
I don't see it, but I feel like if they went after Pogba, which they might, I feel like they're probably the only team that's going to go for him, other than maybe, say, Real Madrid or potentially Barcelona. I don't see really anyone else going for him, mostly because of his attitude and that agent.
Yeah, I agree. Just to follow up on your point, I do think the wage issue and the signing fee is the biggest detriment to any potential club to sign him, which is why many people think Juventus is the only option.
Mm,
Um, Real Madrid do want him, but not for the price that United want. I think that's the same with Barcelona. I don't see anyone else that can afford him or can keep him happy. So
mm,
Juventus have the squad that we could play with. And I think that is why Juventus will probably be the one team that he goes to. Like he could go from Juventus to Real Madrid if he wants after. So there's always that option.
mm,
But yeah, I agree with you. I would rather see Pogba go in January just to get the situation out of our hands. Don't care how much he goes for. Don't care, if we get a trade, just get him out because we've got Van der Beek. We can survive without Pogba.
mm. As shown tonight.
Exactly. Yeah, I guess on that vein, who would you have if Ronaldo was a no go? If they weren't giving us Ronaldo, who would you swap Pogba for?
I'm pretty sure De Ligt plays for Juventus.
Yes,
Yeah,
not
I'll
really
take it.
great, but he's on there.
I would take him simply
Fair enough.
because I feel like he would be the better shout than Maguire
Mm.
because they're both big lads. They can both do things in the air, allegedly. And I know for a fact that De Ligt is a faster character than Maguire is. So it'd be worth a shout because you're literally trading one for one, but this one has more legs.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. I'm don't know how willing Juventus would be with that deal like that because I still think they're playing. Who is it? Bonucci and Chiellini. That's it. Because I was under the impression that Bonucci and Chiellini were still like the first ballot centre back. So
Yeah.
I wasn't sure whether De Ligt is getting much game time, but it seems like he played the most recent Juventus game. He is going to be the successor, so I'm not sure if they're going to be willing to let
Mm.
him go. But I think for Pogba, they might be able to. They might be willing to.
Yeah.
It's a good shout. Ronaldo's probably the best shout. Yeah, I'm not sure who I would swap him for because De Ligt would arguably be the best because he would solve another problem we have in the
Mm.
back.
I mean,
Um,
there's always Dybala. They're very similar players, but at the same time, they're very different players.
yeah, I don't think Dybala would do very well in the league. That's my one reservation.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be another Di Maria situation.
Exactly, and I'd rather not have that. There's so many players like Rabiot is a good player, but apparently he's got issues.
And we could always get Aaron Ramsey.
That is a big nope. But yeah, I think realistically we should only trade Pogba for either De Ligt or Ronaldo. De Ligt would probably be a bit more realistic. Uh,
Mm.
I don't see anyone else who really. We don't really need anyone. We are in the driving seat here when it comes to like swapping players because we could let Pogba rot, and
Mm.
he wants to go. Juventus want him. Any other signings you see happening?
Obviously, we go back to Sancho. I, apparently, they want Sancho just as much as the fans do. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see that considering that the money that you could have easily spent on him, you decided to spend on two youngsters instead.
Oh yes,
Like,
let's not forget one of them comes in January as well.
yes, he does. outside of that, I don't really see many players leaving their clubs right now because obviously Champions League football is still a thing for basically everyone that isn't us.
Yeah, yeah, that has harmed us, I believe. Yeah,
Because I feel like if we stayed in Europe, then we would have had a shout to potentially get another couple players. As much as it is paper talk, Lewandowski would be amazing at United.
yeah, yeah. He I don't think there's a better number 9 in the world right now. Like he is the best, and to have him even for a season would be amazing. But I don't think that's going to happen. Bayern are
No,
not in a position to like, they
no.
don't need to sell Lewandowski, and if they do, who's replacing him? Probably Haaland.
Mm. Yeah, because Dortmund is their support club.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Dortmund's a feeder club, so
It still shocks me to this day that Marco Reus refuses to go over to Bayern Munich, considering everyone else in the club has gone over to Bayern Munich.
he's the one player who's refused. Everyone else goes.
I respect it. I
I
do.
do. I do too. Yeah. Yeah. I guess obviously Sancho is the elephant in the room. We wanted him back in the summer. I don't think we'll go back for him now just because I think Dortmund are still in Champions League. Sancho, obviously, he is pulling a bit of a Pogba now. He wants to go. He's done his time. He's served the club. He's been a good servant. He's not really, the first ballot player now anymore. If we've got the money, just get him. Just get him. And we could swap whoever they want for him other than Greenwood. Yeah, like go for Sancho. If we're not going to get Sancho, I think Leon Bailey is a very good shout.
Mm.
I'm not sure if he's having the greatest of seasons, but he is a genuine option for the right wing, and we definitely need a right winger if we're going to continue to play. If we're going to play the 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1, we definitely need a right winger because Wan-Bissaka is a good right back. We need a right winger. Yeah, Bailey. I'd have Bailey. He'd definitely be cheaper than Sancho. Grealish is another one I'd look at because he's a class player, even though he is a controversial figure off the pitch.
He's a bit of a scoundrel.
I'll put it that way. He's a bit controversial, but he is a talented kid. I think he'd be too expensive for us now, but I think if we had the money again, get him. There have been shouts at Epwemekano. He's a very good centre back, but I don't think he's going until the summer. I don't see it happening. Realistically, I think that we could get Pogba over to Juventus for potentially De Ligt and then sign Bailey. I think that helps a lot of things out. We got Cavani, we got Martial, so we could do a number when it comes to the number 9 position. I would love it if we got Haaland, but I don't see that happening.
If Haaland goes to anyone other than Bayern Munich or Liverpool, it will be a shock move.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised. I'm very shocked that we couldn't convince him to come to United. Oli really wanted him, but apparently the higher ups didn't, and that is really appalling, in my opinion. Bona fide goal scorer.
Mm.
I know Martial was having the season of his life last season, but the numbers Haaland was putting out, those are numbers that you see talented kids do in the under 9s, system. Like Wayne Rooney was putting up those numbers as a kid. Like, and Haaland's doing that in senior football. Like, you don't ignore those numbers. I'm surprised Chelsea didn't get him. Surprised Liverpool didn't get him.
Probably couldn't afford him.
Yeah. I think he's got Rayola as his agent, so that's a bit salty. But I think try and talk to him in January once again because he's going to score goals for us, and that's one thing we do need.
I agree with that. Right now, there are very few strikers that would actually work in what we need. And I definitely feel like he is one of the ones that has enough talents all around to be able to actually pull it off. People are holding players hostage with prices that are ridiculously unreasonable.
Think about it. Players like Mbappe and Neymar wouldn't be at PSG if they could help it. People like Haaland wouldn't be there if they could help it. I think clubs do have a lot of power when it comes to players, and whether it's for the better or worse, they are running things right now. I think it's very much a seller's market right now.
Yeah. And obviously, clubs aren't getting that nice financial burst after each match, two,
Hmm.
3 matches a week anymore.
Yeah, yeah,
So that has hit them hard.
yeah. There's got to be new financial strategies, and yeah, we've heard Fabrizio Romano say it. I think players will probably be the currency now, so we'll probably see a lot of swap deals.
Mm.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a lot of swap deals come January. But yeah, I think ideally we'd get Haaland, Bailey, and then Delit and Pogba out.
And Pogba. 3 players for 1 player. So 1 player goes to three
one,
different clubs. One of
yeah.
them gets his right leg, one of them gets his left leg, one of them just gets the torso, and then we get all those 3 players in.
In an ideal world, we swap Pogba for Delit, and then we pay cash for Bailey.
Okay.
I realistically, I don't think we can afford Haaland in January, but I think we can afford Bailey.
Mm.
Bailey in, the lit in, Pogba out, because I think that is somewhat realistic. I don't think Juventus will agree to it, but you want Pogba?
You
Play
know,
ball?
the price ranges is reasonable. The only problem would be getting enough money together for Bailey, considering that we're not going to be able to sell anyone. No
Yeah,
one wants United players right now. And
yeah,
the only players that they do want, we can't let go of.
yeah. Yeah, it's real interesting. I mean, we still got Romero. He wanted to leave in the summer, and I don't think we got enough money. He wants to go. I mean, it's a bit deep what we've done to him. Obviously, he's been a loyal servant. He would
Mm.
be a fantastic number one for any club in the Premier League. He wants to play. I can't blame him. So if he wants to go, if we get a good offer, let him go. Um,
Mm.
there are players we can get rid of to make money to get the players that we need. Realistically, we'll probably only sell Pogba and get no one in. We've got the 2 kids that are right wingers, so we'll probably the other one hasn't really featured, so I have no faith in the Atalanta kid coming over. So I'm not sure what to say, what to think.
Well, he's been playing in the young squads, and I think he's got 2 goals now.
Right?
He might
Yeah.
have more. I don't follow it that much, but I know of at least 2 goals that he scored.
Mm.
And to be honest, the difference in talent between what he's playing against and Premiership football, you wouldn't score those kind of goals in Premiership football.
And day. You may have noticed, you may not have noticed, but we'll just make this statement just to clear the air. Faheen has left Red Devils Advocate. We wish him well in all of his future endeavors. He is still one of our friends. He's a very nice person. He's cool. It's it's just it just wasn't the right time, right place, right structure for him, and we'll call it mutual consent. He's decided to step away from the brand, and we accept that. So we move on. We've still got a cracking squad here, and you never know. There might be some January transfers coming into Red Devils Advocate, so keep your eyes peeled on that. But thank you very much, Sean, for joining me on this edition. Make sure you give us a like and a subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, Red Devils Advoc, and follow us on Instagram, RD Advocate. And if you are viewing this on YouTube, make sure to let us know what your ideal January transfer window looks like, or your realistic January transfer window looks like. Do you see Bailey as a realistic right wing option, or are you more in the camp of Grealish? Let us know. But until next time, that's all. Make sure you stay safe, take care of yourselves, and have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.